Hi, welcome back. Now that you have accepted to use our services of international service of process through Article 10C of the Hague Convention, want to let you know that we have different services. We have a service that is called Personal A, in which we will serve through Article 10A, B, and C. It's an extremely complete service because the person will be served sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times. There is no way that the person can oppose to service and process. There's no way that he can say he has not received the document, that he has not received legal advice, that he has been unprotected, that he's defenseless. Now, this service, Personal A, it's completed within 48 hours. This is almost immediately. We receive the documents and we will do it immediately. Then we have another service that takes a little longer. It's Personal Service Type B. Type B is that we will do it within 30 days. Take a little longer, 30 days, but it's cheaper. So these are basically the 2 main services that we do by the use of Article 10C. As I said, we do Article 10A by mail, cost us 300 euros. We do by Article 10B for divorces or any kind of documents, and the cost is 750 euros. And then the price will vary with the other kinds of personal service of process. Personal hand-to-hand delivery, reinforced with postal, reinforced with the service by a judicial officer. And of course, you will see on the left-hand side of the screen our price list, and you will be, I'm sure that you will find a price that will fit your needs and that you will be pleased with. These prices are all included, and you will receive no surprises. Of course, there's one exception that we want you to know, is that if you give us a wrong address and we have to serve and we discover that that address is not correct and we have to research for that address and we have to do a second service, definitely, since we are obliged to serve to the correct address, since that affidavit has to be issued to the proper address, we will have to invoice you as it were a completely independent service, a new service. So please make sure that you have the correct address, do a little research, or ask us to do the research. We will do it for you. But let's do the things properly from the beginning. Don't put in your summons, don't put in your writs of summons, don't put in your documents any address that you find on the internet. Get the right address so we can do things properly. Now, once you have understood, I mean, you understand what we do, we want you to know that once we have received the money, and once we have received the documents, and we have delivered the documents, you will be receiving back, of course, you will receive something like our invoice or our bill, so you can eventually get it back from the defendant. And if you want, when we issue our affidavit of service, custom-made affidavit of service, because we don't care. I mean, we will issue the affidavit of service in the form you want, as far as it complies with the laws that regulate or that control how we have to, what information we have to give in the affidavit, and the information is correct. But if you want, we can specify in the affidavit the cost. Therefore, when you win that case, you will be reimbursed for the cost of service. If you win the case, of course. If you lose the case, you're done. On the other hand, you will receive also a document, which is our warranty of service in court. It means that once we have delivered those documents and we have sent you the package with the documents, we send you an engagement that says that we will guarantee that service in court. Now, what you will receive back from us is a little bit like document like this. It can be white, it can be black, and they are very thick. This is very thick. First page, what we do, we include an affidavit, custom-made, as I said, according to all the information you got. Then we will add exhibits. In this case, for example, Exhibit A has the table of applicability of the Hague Convention. You download it because in the affidavit of service, very important, we don't issue a simple, blind, ridiculous, or simple affidavit of service. We are attorneys, and we are a law firm, an international law firm, so we will issue an affidavit of service with legal backup, with legal documentation. So we will include not only the text of the Hague Convention, but when necessary, the text of the Civil Code of Civil, in English of course, the Code of Civil Procedure of the country where we're serving. So when your court is going to be examining the service, in case or in the event that someone tries to file a motion to quash, they can see what are the laws that have been applied for that service of process. Could be the laws of British Columbia, could be the laws of California, but we will send you a complete affidavit of service with legal documents back up, so you have enough information to back up that service, so to avoid any kind of quash of service. In this service of process I have in my hand, I have here also an extract of the mercantile registry of the companies that were served. And this is very good because in cases, depending on the case, that address is essential. When you're distinguishing a distributor than a producer, when you're distinguishing between the distributor and the person that it's responsible or that it's liable for a certain product. So it has not only the name of the officers, well, it's a complete extract of the business registry of the company, so the company cannot say, oh, you serve to the place of business, or you serve to a branch, or you serve to a subsidiary. No, we include everything. So there will be definitely no doubt that the company was served to the address and to the officials as they appear. I mean, we will send a judicial officer to serve the documents, to serve a particular person, to serve the person that appears as an officer. And who's the person that appears as an officer? Is the one that says the mercantile registry. No doubt about it. This one also has of course, the declaration of the judicial officer. Not only our affidavit as attorneys at law, not only our affidavit that we completed the service ourselves personally, but also we add that affidavit in the foreign language of that judicial officer that also completed the service. Very important, because depending on the country, of course, depending on the jurisdiction, this is why this matter sometimes is a little complicated, is that in some jurisdictions, the judicial officer that serves the documents gives a number and opens a public record in his office, which is a ministerial record. It's an official record, a public record with the number of service. It means that anyone can verify that he did that service, when he did it, and to whom he did it. It's not like a process server that will have a file in his office. And no. We're talking that the government eventually, when it comes to enforcing a court order in Europe, can verify from any European jurisdiction to another that this service was done and how it was done, so they can verify that it was done properly. Big advantage because you avoid problems that way. Eventually, depending on the case, we add evidence or not. Of course, it's not the case. But finally, in that huge, thick file, you have the summons and complaint, and all attached with a stamp saying this was served this date, etc., etc. It was served on Greenwich Meridian time, specifying everything. And this is it. I mean, you will get what you pay for. You pay for service, you will get an excellent service. If you pay less, you will get less. With us, it's guaranteed. It's as simple as that. With us, you won't have as many problems. You'll go directly to the point. You will have exactly what you need. You won't be bouncing. You won't be having rejects. We have never, ever had a service quash. We have had, of course, motions to quash, and we love them. We love them. Every time a defendant proposes a motion to quash, we adore it. We adore it because we prepared a good legal file, and we defend it in court at our expense, but it will be the defendant who will have to pay for our work. Not you, of course, but we love it. We love it. That's part of our business also.